President Xi and President Biden getting right down to work, already at the table, making welcoming remarks to one another in Woodside, California. This eagerly anticipated bilateral summit on the sidelines of the APEC meeting is really the highlight of that meeting for many. And let's listen in.
Demand our joint efforts. So I look forward to beginning this discussion, and I welcome you, and the floor is yours, Mr. President. And again, welcome back.
Mr. President, good morning. Coming here, I think of your trip to China when I was the Vice President of China. We had a meeting. It was 12 years ago. I still remember our interactions very vividly. And it always gives me a lot of thoughts. Last time we met in Bali, you said it was a year and a day ago. A lot has happened since then. The world has emerged from the COVID pandemic, but is still under its tremendous impacts. The global economy is recovering, but its momentum remains sluggish. Industrial and supply chains are still under the threat of interruption, and protectionism is rising. All these are grave problems. The China-US relationship, which is the most important bilateral relationship in the world, should be perceived and envisioned in a broad context of the accelerating global transformations unseen in a century. It should develop in a way that benefits our two peoples and fulfills our responsibility for human progress. China-US relationship has never been smooth sailing over the past 50 years or more, and it always faces problems of one kind or another. Yet it has kept moving forward amid twists and turns. For two large countries like China and the United States, turning their back on each other is not an option. It is unrealistic for one side to remodel the other, and conflict and confrontation has unbearable consequences for both sides. I'm still of the view that major country competition is not the prevailing trend of current times and cannot solve the problems facing China and the United States or the world at large. Planet Earth is big enough for the two countries to succeed, and one country's success is an opportunity for the other. It is an objective fact that China and the United States are different in history, culture, social system, and development path. However, as long as they respect each other, coexist in peace, and pursue win-win cooperation, they will be fully capable of rising above differences and find the right way for the two major countries to get along with each other. I firmly believe in a promising future of the bilateral relationship. Mr. President, you and I, we are at the helm of China-US relations. We shoulder heavy responsibilities for the two peoples, for the world, and for history. I look forward to having an in-depth exchange of views and reaching new understandings with you on strategic and overarching issues critical to the direction of China-US relations and on major issues affecting world peace and development. I wish to thank you for your thoughtful arrangements for our meeting today and for our participation at the APEC meeting. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, press. Thanks, guys. We're heading out, guys. Thanks, press. We're heading out, guys.
Thank you so much. Everyone's heading out. Everyone's heading out.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, press. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Everyone's moving out.
All right,
Okay, the opening remarks have been concluded there. President Biden went first, and then Chinese President Xi, in what you would call very scripted, practiced remarks. Xi said that the world is emerging from COVID, but the economic momentum remains sluggish and protectionism is rising, and basically making sort of very conciliatory noises about the bilateral arrangements or relationships between the U.S. that confrontation has unbearable consequences, he says, and the earth is big enough for both countries to succeed. Let's go to Eamon Javers, who is on the scene this evening in San Francisco, monitoring this bilateral summit. Go ahead, Eamon.
Tyler, fascinating body language between the two leaders as we saw them greet each other both in the standing handshake portion of this and in the seated remarks. I agree with you, Tyler. I feel like those were sort of de-escalatory remarks from Xi Jinping there, talking about planet Earth being big enough for the two countries, even though the relationship has had its ups and downs over the past 50 years, that the two biggest countries in the world can't afford to turn their backs on each other. I also think I caught a bit of a smile from Joe Biden there to Xi Jinping as the press began shouting questions at the end of the remarks, as we always do, trying to get an answer from these world leaders. Of course, neither one was going to engage in that particular moment. I think I saw that smile reciprocated by Xi Jinping, so maybe just a little bit of common ground in terms of their annoyance at the press yelling at them at the end of that meeting. But I think this is the start that both the White House and Beijing wanted to this meeting between these two leaders. This whole meeting is about putting a floor under the relationship between the United States and China so it doesn't get any worse. All of this has been choreographed to a fairly well. I even noticed that when they did the handshake, each man put his hand on top of the clasped hands of the handshake, almost as if that had been worked out. We'll try to report that out and see if we can get the choreography on the handshakes. But they really did do the elaborate greeting that you might think of from a formal state visit, even though this is just a meeting on the sidelines of the APEC summit. So much to watch for here. One other note, Tyler, you look at who was next to the president, of course, his Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, but also Janet Yellen, the Secretary of Treasury. We saw the Commerce Secretary, Gina Raimondo, and we also saw John Kerry down the table, the climate envoy from this administration. And I think that gives you a sense of what the priorities are on that side on the U.S. side of the table. It's economy, it's commerce, and it's climate very much in this summit, as well as the foreign policy.
Kelly and I were just saying what a month Antony Blinken has had, considering all the travel he has been doing. I thought there was a tone of real politic and reality when Xi said that the relationship between the United States and China has, quote, never been smooth sailing, but has kept moving forward amid twists and turns. And that sort of sums it up, I think, and probably speaks accurately to where things are today, that maybe the goal here is to keep moving forward without antagonism amid what will inevitably be twists and turns of two highly competitive global powers.
Absolutely. This is the muddle through summit, right? Yeah. We're not going to get a major breakthrough here, but this is just how do we keep this relationship going and not getting any worse, right? We want to prevent any accidental military confrontation between the two sides. You've seen the pictures of Chinese planes getting very close to American planes over the Pacific, Chinese naval vessels and U.S. naval vessels coming in very close proximity with one another. Any one of those situations could turn into a flashpoint, and that's why the biggest takeaway of this summit is expected to be the resumption of military-to-military direct communications with the goal of de-escalating any of those moments. Those communications were shut down in the wake of Nancy Pelosi's visit as Speaker of the House to Taiwan in 22. The expectation is that they will be able to resume those after this meeting today with a goal of making sure that there's at least not an accidental confrontation between these two countries, that everything that happens between these two nations is very measured and thought through, and that's why I think you saw a very measured and thought through summit beginning there on camera, Tyler.
All right, and Eamon, you will be in the room where it happens tonight, I understand, when the business leaders meet with Xi and the Chinese delegation. We'll look forward to your reporting. Thank you very much, Eamon Javers.